What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Alternative Adventures with me, Brant Bowens. Today is one of my little double adventures. Not quite a road trip, but hopefully I'll get two videos out of this. Well, not hopefully, I'm going to do two videos, whether you like it or not. I'm going to hit up a cemetery. Who's going to be there? We'll see. And after that, I'm going to Knott's Berry Farm, which I love. I haven't been in a long time. I have passes I need to use. What if they expire? What then? I'm just going to cry about it? No. I'm going to go do that today. I'm going to meet up with a friend as well. Join me on this expedition. This most unprecedented expedition. Most unprecedented expedition. Not Basil Expeditions. Anyways, let's get going. I'm burning daylight. I'm already later than I want to be, as usual. Let's do this. Just got to the cemetery. Now, I'm gonna find a famous musician. At least I know he's very famous in the Southern California music community. I mean, if you're into punk and ska and reggae, you've definitely heard of this guy. He's really a pioneer of, the sound. I'll get in that a little later when I actually find his grave, but it should be around here somewhere. Alright. Looks like I have found it. It's very unassuming. It's pretty modest. But like I said, here we find the grave of the late, great Bradley Nowell from Sublime, probably one of the best bands to come out from this area in that time frame. Well, I'm super excited to be here today. This guy is obviously one of my heroes. He's like I said, he's the pioneer of one of the pioneers of the early ska punk scene, the third wave ska scene, which I'm a huge fan of. Bradley Nowell was born in Long Beach, California to two musician parents, so of course he had to follow in their footsteps. He went on a trip when he was a young boy, I think he went with his father, to the Virgin Islands, where he was exposed to reggae and dancehall music, which of course is very similar to ska, even though not many people know that ska technically came before reggae, but we'll get into that another day. So he was exposed to that music. That's what he started playing. He also loved blues, rock, punk. He was a big fan of the Grateful Dead. You can hear a lot of Jerry Garcia in his playing, actually, which I really dig. They did some covers, some Grateful Dead covers as well. When he was attending Cal State University Long Beach, he ran into Eric Wilson and Bud Goff, who started the band Sublime. And I think before that, I'm not sure if they were a part of the band, but he was in a band called Hogan's Heroes, which was an earlier band of his, but they formed Sublime. And they didn't really get a lot of success early in their career. Their first three albums, I think, were self-produced. They didn't get too much notoriety. They got some play in 1995 with their song Date Rape that played on K-Rock, which is a local station that some of you may have heard of. So they did get some airplay with that song, but sadly they didn't gain notoriety until after Bradley had passed, and that may have been part of the reason. Everybody, of course, is familiar with the pup Lou Dog, the Dalmatian of Bradley's, who I've never seen anybody love a pup so much. That dog came on stage and was at the shows with them. Bradley Nowell suffered from a heroin addiction for many years. He ended up getting married and he had a son, which of course everybody knows when you have kids, it really does something to you. So he got clean for his family. He went to rehab and all that, but sadly he relapsed one day while they were on tour. Sublime was on tour in San Francisco. He unfortunately relapsed, and he somehow got a hold of some dope, and he overdosed in his hotel room in San Francisco, California on May 25th, I believe it was, 1996. But they brought him here to rest in paradise. He barely made it past the 27 Club. He was actually 28 when he died. Everybody knows about the 27 Club, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Jimmy Morrison, Kurt Cobain. They all died when they were 27. He barely made it, and if he would have stayed clean, he might not have relapsed. We might still be hearing from him today. Even though Sublime does continue with Sublime as Rome, and they're pretty popular because of Sublime's self-titled album, Sublime, which had pretty much all their hits on it. There were some other posthumous albums that were released as well, but none of them had nearly as much notoriety as Sublime, the self-titled. Most people think it's their first album, but no, their first album was definitely 40 Ounces to Freedom. That's a great album as well. I encourage everybody to give their music a listen. It's amazing, even if you don't like ska, reggae, punk rock. It's groovy. He's got an amazing voice. He can play the guitar like a motherfucking riot. He really can. He's an amazing guitar player. And by all accounts, he was a great dude as well. So it's sad to see him here, but I'm really glad I got to come visit an idol of mine. Well, it was really cool that I got to see Bradley Nowell's grave. Like I said, huge fan of the music. He's a hero. He's a great musician. He did a great thing. He did a great thing at the right time, I guess I should say. And there's also, there's not too many famous graves at this one. I looked into it to see who else was here, and honestly, there wasn't anybody notable. There's a few people, a couple small-time actors. I mean, we are still in Southern California. A lot of Hollywood folk live in Orange County. So there's a couple, but nothing too exciting. I did, however, want to stop by a different grave, which is actually my best friend is buried here. I might get a little emotional when I'm talking about that, but I would like to go see his grave as well, pay my respects, and talk about a little something. But let's check that out. Even though death is a part of life, there's no avoiding it. It's part of life, There are things you can do to prolong your life, and it sucks that when you have friends and family who go too soon. I do want to say that Bradley Nowell, who we just saw, overdosed on heroin. Basically, he was clean and he tried to go back to it, and it ended up killing him. And it sucks that I have to sit here and say that the same thing happened to my best friend. He was sick for a while. He didn't want to do drugs, but I can't stress enough how addiction is a disease. It's, the chemical dependency, it messes with your mind, it's a physical thing. I see a lot of people saying like, oh no, you're just weak. One of the strongest people I've ever met is right behind me. That's not the case. Addiction is real, and if you know anybody suffering from addiction, reach out to them, help them. There are hotlines you can call. They can see a doctor, they can see a psychologist, psychiatrist, but the best thing is for you to reach out to your friends. You can help them, because don't do drugs, don't do heroin. This could be the result. somebody you love, could pass on, you could do it yourself. It's not the path you want to be on. So I apologize for getting a little heavy, but it's something I think about a lot, and it's something that I'd like to share with you guys. Don't do drugs, and if you know somebody who's struggling with drugs, alcohol, or anything, reach out to them, help them get the help they need, because I don't want to see this happen to anybody else. I miss this guy every day. We used to walk home from school, you know, every day from 6th grade all the way halfway through high school until we started driving. You know, we'd walk to school every day with this guy and a couple other people, but even though he's no longer with us, I wouldn't trade those moments for the world. I wouldn't be the person I am today if it wasn't for Casey, and I can't thank him enough for that, and I'm so glad to have him in my life for the time that I did. Bastinian right here. It's also really good to see that people keep it up. He's got this stuff hanging, necklaces with notes in them. Looks like some hair. I don't know if it's his hair. His card, the lipstick, and I think it might belong to his mother actually, because his grandma's actually right next to her, and she was a cool lady as well. I think about him all the time, and I miss him every day. I'm sorry to get heavy, but doing all these cemeteries videos, you realize how many people we lose prematurely, and a lot of it can be avoided. So, keep your loved ones close, you guys. You never know. You might not agree with this next part, but you don't have to watch. But as a tribute to both Bradley Nowell and my best friend, something we used to do a lot. So I'm gonna live on the tradition, and I'm gonna make like he's with me one more time. Mr. Brad. And here's to my best friend Casey. Rest in paradise, brother. I'll see you soon. Alright guys, thanks for indulging in my little trip down memory lane, and I hope you enjoyed seeing Bradley Nowell's graves too. This is a good one for me. It did get a little emotional, but you know what, I'm glad I got to see my buddy. Yeah, anyways, now enough of the sad, depressing stuff. Now let's go to the park. Let's go to Knott's Berry Farm. Me and my pal Jess, let's see, she was here, I don't know where she went, but we're gonna meet there. And I'm gonna try, it's my first time filming with just my phone. I'm using my camera right now, but I'm not gonna bring my phone in. Or excuse me, I'm gonna bring my phone, not my camera. Leave the camera in the car, bring the phone, and I'm gonna be talking about what's new at Knott's right now, and talk about, you know, the old stuff, what was there before. So, check out that video, that link's probably right here. Anyways, onward to do it.